The spirit of panic. Uh, Panic is defined in the Oxford Dictionary as a sudden, uncontrollable fear or anxiety, often causing wildly unthinking behavior. That is what Oxford Dictionary defines panic as. And according to Wikipedia, the word panic derives from antiquity and is a tribute to the ancient god Pan, one of the many gods in the mythology of the ancient Greece. Pan was the god of shepherds and of woods and pastures. The Greeks believed that he often wandered peacefully through the woods playing a pipe, but when accidentally awakened from his noontime nap, he would give a great shout that would cause flocks to stampede. From this aspect of Pan's nature, Greek authors derived the word panikos, sudden fear, panikos, from the deity called Pan. The word panikos, or sudden fear, meaning sudden fear. So this is the ultimate source of the English word panic. The Greek term indicates the feeling of total fear that is also sudden and often attributed to the presence of a god. Panic from panikos, the god or the deity called Pan in Greek. So the devil, that's how the devil works in creating panic. As the deity of Pan would cause the flock to stampede, and in a stampede, some would die, not necessarily because of the power or of the enemy doing them harm physically, but they harm each other. The flock would harm each other, and some even die in a stampede. And so the devil has got no power. He has absolutely no power to do any harm to anyone. Whether you believe or you do not believe, he doesn't have that power. What the devil needs to do is to press the right button, to cause people to make irrational decisions out of panic. Because decisions have consequences. You can give excuses as to why you make a bad decision, but that does not exonerate you from the consequence of that decision. You can have a valid excuse, a valid reason why you made that bad decision, but it will not exonerate you from the consequences of that decisions. So excuses can be good, but they will never exonerate you from the consequences of your poor decision making. Whether you know how to pray or not, you cannot just make a haphazard decision and without expecting consequences. You cannot pray away the consequences of a bad decision. You can't pray it away. It is bound to come. It is bound to happen. You are either enticed or intimidated to make a bad decision, either by being enticed or by being put under tremendous pressure to do so. So the devil will dangle something nice before you, enticing you to make the decision that will bind you to the consequences. It happens to Adam and Eve. They willingly made a decision. He didn't force them to do anything. Before they knew it, they were running away from the presence of the Lord by themselves, without the devil saying, go, or they had to run themselves from the presence of the Lord. It is the consequence of their own decision. The devil just nudges you and directs you into making that decision, which will make sure that he achieves his evil motives. So evil will always be linked, or can always be linked, to a poor decision making, not necessarily the lack of prayer. The strength or the power in prayer and fasting it should be to activate spiritual awareness and sobriety of mind. As the scripture says, the adversary, the devil, is hunting for someone to devour. He's always hunting for someone to devour. So he roars like a lion. Why does the lion not just attack silently? No, the lion does not just attack silently. It roars first to create panic in its prey. It doesn't just attack and get done. It creates the panic in its adversary. Your adversary, the devil, learned from the lion. He roars like a lion to create panic. Panic make one to become clumsy. Even in the decision making, you become very clumsy, and you make a decision due to pressure, under pressure. Whether it be quitting a job, quitting a marriage, or any other means of quitting, you don't just make that decision because of the pressure. You rather try to absorb the pressure and make sure you make a decision out of a sober mind. So the pressure could be from the devil just to push you into making that decision, which is not necessarily what you want, but because of the pressure, you hastily make a decision. There was a commotion in Israel which sparked a mass hysteria. The king of Israel had been killed, together with the prince who was meant to succeed him. King Saul and his son Jonathan died. In a mass hysteria or psychosis, the news traveled, and when it reached the ears of a nurse who was nursing Jonathan's son, it created panic, and out of panic, the nurse dropped the child, and who became permanently lame. 2 Samuel chapter 4, verse 4. Jonathan, Saul's son, had a son who was lame in his feet. He was 5 years old when the news about Saul and Jonathan came from Jezreel, and his nurse took him up and fled. And it happened as she made haste to flee, that he fell and became lame. His name was Mephibosheth. So Mephibosheth became lame because the nurse panicked and dropped him, and he became permanently disabled because of panic. The nurse panicked and acted out of panic, and the damage was irreversible. That is what panic can do. I believe the same deity, or whatever the Greeks called the god, the deity of Pan, the Panikos, is still at work today, creating panic in human beings. He will make an impulsive decision that can be very detrimental to your well-being. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Resist him, steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same suffering are experienced by your brotherhood in the world. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Your adversary, the devil, is roaring like a lion, looking for whom he may devour. Resist him,